Oh, okay. I think we're live. All right. Make sure I have everything public. Yes, okay, cool. Hello, and welcome to my new apartment. Just give me a minute to pull up the stream over here so I can have the chat. All right. Should be able to see everything you guys say now. So, Bruxish. Well, first of all, I just wanted to point out that the setup here today is a little bit different, just because I'm in my new apartment, so, you know, just kind of the arrangement of things is a little bit different. So, if the audio is off or anything like that, please do let me know. And also, I do need to double check that the chat is still going to show up down here. So if you can say something, that would be great. Yeah. So please forgive the complete mess back here. We've mostly arranged like the furniture and that kind of thing, but there's a lot that we still need to do in terms of figuring out where things belong and all that kind of stuff. Well, hello, Javier. What's going on there? And also, my hair is a mess because I haven't been able to get a haircut. But I'm sure everyone is having the same problems. You have to change the account. Okay. Interesting. I didn't notice this before. Because you used the F word, which is fine. Like I'm not going to complain about that. But you said it, or like you put it in a message, and I can see in the chat over here that the message got deleted. The message got you know, it was hidden, so it doesn't actually show up here. But here it does. Interesting. I had never noticed that before. Maybe it's because I had it on top chat, and on top chat it got hidden. It's not the first time that you've seen that. Yeah, if you change it to live chat, which I just did, the message shows up again. So, anyway. Looks like we don't have a lot of people on right now, but that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and get started. No, you can't eat styrofoam. Sorry. Little piece of styrofoam was on the floor, and my cat was going to play with it, and that's not a good idea. So, Bruxish. Bruxish is a very ugly Pokemon. Period. The colors are a bit too clashing. It's got this overly like exaggeratedly feminine features in the lips and the eyes especially, but not in a way that really works. I think not in a way that really makes sense with the whole rest of the Pokemon design. Also, by the way, it's very windy here, and every once in a while, like, I can hear the gusts of wind, and so I don't know if that's going to get picked up by the microphone, but if it is, I apologize. Anyway, so yeah. So it's a very ugly Pokemon. I feel like they didn't do a very good job of translating whatever idea they had into a Pokemon. Under the top left here we have a photo of the reef triggerfish, which is one of the more prominent inspirations for Bruxish. It's a fish with a very prominent mouth as well. But like the mouth is probably one of the most one of the worst features, let's say, one of the worst features of Bruxish. The mouth is just so prominent and so incredibly toothy, it is very off-putting. And so that's definitely one of the things that I want to change. Like, I have to keep the mouth, I have to keep it in a way that just makes more sense. That is, it's like, it still has to be a prominent mouth because that's what Bruxish is, like that's what the name comes from and everything, so just gonna have to find a way around it. But the other thing that I wanted to just kind of keep in mind and think about as we get started with this redesign is that my friend Brett, whom many of you have already heard of, because Brett has been on the channel before on some collaborations, and they were on the Sword and Shield review podcast at the end of last year. So Brett pointed out to me that they see Bruxish as a drag queen Pokemon. And, the drag queen aesthetic is very overly exaggerated feminine features, and that's exactly what Bruxish is. And so, yeah, I hadn't seen that before, but once they pointed it out to me, I see. Bruxish is definitely kind of leaning on that aesthetic. So I want to try to do something that keeps the Bruxish look and maybe emphasizes a little bit more the drag angle in a way that makes it a little bit more obvious, while also trying to make Bruxish as a whole less off-putting. We'll see if we can do that. It's going to be a very challenging redesign. I'm not in the habit of drawing fish, so fish Pokemon are not something that I'm super familiar with. I was actually in the process here just before we started. It was a process of getting some images of trading card game artwork with fish Pokemon in kind of interesting positions, just so I have a reference for that. So let me paste that in. That's there's a Luminion, there's a Lantern, and what was the other one I found? I think it was it's another Lantern. There it is. So these are just going to be here as references for me. Maybe make it a little bit less big. Domo's wearing the same shirt as me. Oh, hello. That's awesome. My wife is a big fan of Superman, so I have quite a few Superman themed items. Quick Ag, do you have a preference of how I should pronounce that, or how I should shorten your name? Well, it's nice to see you here. Nice to see you live. What did I say? What aesthetics? Drag aesthetics. Drag queen look is what I was talking about. And hello, Charon, as well. All right, I'm just gonna put these off to the side just as a reference over here. Okay. I'm actually gonna hide those for now. The trading card game, because first I want to figure out what the actual design is going to be, and then I'll figure out how I'm going to draw it. I want to draw it in a more interesting pose than what official Bruxish art is. That's very that's just very static. I want to draw something a little bit closer to this TCG artwork, but we'll get there. First, let's figure out what the design is going to look like. Kyle O'Connell, I have an idea for Bruxish. What if it had light like the Lantern bug, but it looks like a third eye? So in Oh, I see. Had the lights like a lantern, but looked like a third eye. So like something on the forehead. It does need something on the forehead. I don't think it's a third eye, because the triggerfish. This photo doesn't show it, but the triggerfish actually has a spine that comes out of its forehead, which may or may not be used as a lure, I think. So that's where the flower on Bruxish comes from. So I think it needs to have something that actually projects outward. I was planning on keeping the flower as part of the aesthetic, but we can play around with that. It can be something else. It needs a palm tree on its head. I've seen a couple drag queens in my life when I was young, so I didn't understand that they were not actually women. My understanding is that nowadays drag queens can actually be women, but yeah, most of them are not. So I want to keep the rough kind of almost like a rhombus kind of shape of the fish. Whoa. Yeah, so the rough shape of the fish, I want it to stay roughly the same. I just want to make the mouth a little bit less, like point outwards a little bit less, because I think it's a little bit much. What is wrong with the sensitivity on my pen? That's normal. Okay. Do they consider themselves as women? Drag queens? It's complicated. I can't speak too knowledgeably on that, but I was doing kind of a crash course on drag queens last night while I was thinking about ideas, and this morning when I was sketching some out. And often when the performers are not in drag, when they're not in character, often they will use masculine pronouns, so he, him, and often when they are in drag, when they are in character, they will prefer feminine pronouns, so she and her. I don't think that they think of themselves as women, but there are also trans drag queens. It's all very complicated, and I can't really speak too knowledgeably on that. So let's make this a little bit bigger so it's a little easier to work with. I better actually draw this facing forward. So the main thing that I want to do with the lips is that rather than having this like very kind of prominent lips and you know the super jagged teeth, because I think that's definitely part of what makes it really off-putting, is that I want to keep those elements but downplay them a little bit. So this was Indigo's suggestion to have kind of one of those cartoon, like almost kind of sideways grins where you don't individually define all of the teeth, so you just kind of do almost like a heartbeat shape in the corner just to like imply those teeth, and then also probably not have like 3D lips, but still have the lip shape. Maybe a little bit less than this, but this is basically what I'm going for. It won't come through as obviously drawn from the side, but I wanted to point that out. So something like that. Wow, my pen sensitivity is really like doing some weird things here. Hi, is this the internet? Hello, Ethan. This is the internet. You have found the internet. Congratulations. I know someone who does drag. He invited me to a show, but I haven't taken him up on that. I don't think I've been to any drag shows, and I'm not really familiar with like Drag Race and other just. There's a shadow of something on my blinds here. It distracted me for a second. But yeah, I think drag shows are probably quite interesting. But I don't think I've seen any. I might have seen one when I was a kid. I just don't have a very clear memory of that. Am I considering using same color palette? Sort of. I want the color palette to have a little bit more contrast because I think the colors are a bit too clashing. And as you can see in the photo of the triggerfish that's on the top left there is a lot of contrast. Like there's the bright yellow, but there's also the bright white and the very dark black. So I want it to have a little bit more of that dimension. Ethan, you did drag at a summer camp. I won't talk about that though, and you definitely can't find pictures on my Facebook. That sounds like the kind of thing you would say to encourage me to go to your Facebook and find photos. I've never done drag because drag is very specific, like has some very specific elements. But I have done cross-dressing, and there are photos that you can find on my Facebook. So the other thing is the eye, right? The other really prominent thing on Bruxish is the eye. And the eye is, like on Bruxish they emphasize the eyelashes. I'm more inclined to emphasize the eye makeup. So I'm thinking like a very, very prominent wingtip kind of design on the eye. Otherwise, pretty similar here. Maybe with some makeup under the eye as well. I want to keep it feminine. Like I want to keep that, but it has to be exaggeratedly feminine in a way that isn't off-putting. And that's to put that on a fish, that's a really difficult thing to accomplish. The cross-dressing part is what you did. Okay, yeah. Cross-dressing can be fun. My cross-dressing experience is from a time when, well, not exclusively, but the most like recent one. It was a time that all of my friends were going to Halloween. All of my friends who are women were going to Halloween as Johnny Depp characters. So, you know, there was Hunter S. Thompson, there was Jack Sparrow, there was Edward Scissorhands, and so on. Me, as the only guy in the group, I wasn't actually going to any Halloween party because I don't like those. But we were hanging out before they went to the party, and so I dressed up as well. And basically, I dressed up as the female counterpart to Johnny Depp. So I was Helena Bonham Carter, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I'm just gonna put the fins on it here. It's gonna be the fins are going to stay roughly the same. What is wrong with my pen? Like, it works mostly fine, but every once in a while it just does that. I think the tail, I'm not gonna put the divot in the tail. I think this just looks better. And, oh, the flower. So, for now I'm gonna keep it as a flower. I was trying to find a way to make it imitate like an exaggerated, like a hairstyle kind of thing. I'll put the flower open though. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do with the flower, but we'll keep it there. And then the only other part that I really figured out so far is the markings. I wanted the markings to be a little bit closer to the actual triggerfish, but I also wanted it to emphasize some of the styles of drag makeup, and in particular, drag makeup often really emphasizes cheekbones. So the way I did it here was with that black stripe coming from down here, but then having it like curving around the eye. Oh, cheekbones and very prominent eyebrows. So the marking goes around the eye this way, which is kind of similar to what Bruxish already has. So like that, but this would be probably a different color going this way, like a band of a different color down here, and then something over here also with a band of color here, and this one going up to the back. So I don't know exactly what colors these will be, but just to give it a bit more of a feeling of how it might look, just gonna fill these in. And that's about as much as I've figured out. So I would love to hear your ideas, if you have any ways to make this a little bit more exciting. Yeah, might make the mouth a little bit bigger proportionally here. Yeah, the open flower will definitely give it that feminine look. Or what if the open flower was flowy like hair? Do you have a specific flower you can recommend that would make it look more like hair? Like if there's a specific flower, especially if it's a Hawaiian flower, that we can use to be like, okay, this is you know what it has on its head, and that would make it more hair-like. That would be ideal. I thought the plan was to improve it. Does look better so far. Well, thank you, Charon. I do think it looks better. I don't think it looks perfect, but I think it looks better. I think it just really can't have that, like, that snout, almost. Yeah. It's a difficult balance. It's a difficult balance. The eye and mouth are perfectly acceptable. I'd only want to experiment with the rest of it from there. What about a hibiscus, which is Hawaii's state flower? Let's have a look at that. And what was the other thing that I missed? I think maybe you could put some circles on the front of the face like the original. I think I would be willing to put circles somewhere behind the face. But because the face is supposed to be very, like, it's supposed to be drag makeup, I'm not sure where I would put circles in the front. Maybe, like, under the eyes? That could work. Let me just have a look at a hibiscus so I can know exactly what I'm going for. Oh, yeah, that one. Okay. I've used a hibiscus actually before in the Meganium redesign. But yeah, let's try it. Let's see if I can make the hibiscus look a little bit more like hair. And also let me name my layers. It should still end up looking like an acid trip in terms of pattern color, but can be applied to any design in the end. I think so too. I don't know that it needs to look like an acid trip, but it does need to be very flashy, because that's, again, part of the drag queen aesthetic. So we'll see. All right, let's try a different style for that hibiscus. Hide that. I'm just gonna move the whole thing downwards. I have a little bit more space to work with the flower. It was the Pokemon that introduced Psychic Fang, just random Pokemon facts for Ethan. Okay, so hibiscus. Oh, does the hibiscus have any kind of interesting stem? Okay, not really. It has the thing poking out on top, which is pretty cool, but. Gotta get my opacity up. The flower is definitely going to work better from a different angle. An angle like that catches it more from the front. So that's something that I can explore later on when I try to put it in a better position. It is very flowy. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be from a different angle for me to be able to really give it a hair-like look. But I like the idea of using the hibiscus. I definitely like that. I think it's a fitting flower, and we can give it, strong colors and everything. So that's good. So I'm okay with just doing that. I have a feeling any solution to the flower thing will be what ruins it. What do you mean? Just like that the flower will make the design look bad as a whole? I don't think it needs to. It might, but I don't think it needs to. What if it was more like an anglerfish kind of thing, where it's more at the end of an arc that goes up and down? Like the stem of the flower is longer, you mean? Like something like this. Well, that's a very bad one. Let's make it a little bit wider. But this is what you mean, right? Something more like this. I think in this case, like it might work, but I think it would. I wouldn't be able to make it look like hair necessarily. I think I'm gonna need it. You like it more already. Well, that's good. But let me just hide all of this. I just want to do a very quick, I'll just put an eye here, just very quickly, and an eye here. I just want to see if I can get the hibiscus to look like hair. I'm gonna draw some actual hair, just to kind of have a reference, because I want, what I'm thinking is more like that kind of curly like lock, like this kind of thing, and yeah, or like if we were to have actual hair that looked something like this, right? Very exaggerated hair. And I'm not going to do that, but we could have that like single lock idea where the hair kind of falls in front of the eye. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of the look that I'm trying to come up with. And the hibiscus, like, stamen, I think is what it's called, the thing that comes out in the middle, that can function really well as the lock that falls in front of the eye. What if we had a wig that could be lifted on a stem? Oh no. I don't know. I don't think that would work. I don't think that would look very good at all. I think they both look really good, so I'm fine with either flower design, anything related to Bruxish. Let's just hide all of this. That's fair. That's fair. Hello, Kai, appropriately fishing in Animal Crossing as I watch. And hello, Eric McNugget. Welcome. What? How are we? How am I? Well. I'm doing fine. I'm wishing I could go outside more. Check out the new neighborhood. But give it a beak like a real parrotfish. No, a beak wouldn't really be fitting with the Bruxish concept as a whole. Like Bruxish, like the name Bruxism, we have also the move Psychic Fangs. Like it's very tooth centric, so we definitely need to keep the teeth. We need two versions of this redesign. Number one, something that actually looks more appealing as a Pokemon, and it's number two, something that is actually ridiculous instead of just weird. Right. Just pop on a mask and head out there. Walking trails have been a lifesaver for me during this time. The thing is that it's not so much that I just want to go walk. I mean, that too. But I can just go walk. That's fine. That's not a problem. But it's more like checking out the restaurants, grocery stores, all that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot in my immediate neighborhood right now. And I can't really go there. Can't really check them out, see how good they are. You know, there's a theater down that way where we can't go see any movies. So yeah. So let's see. Can I put some hibiscus petals here. Hmm. Just keep having to go back to what the hibiscus actually looks like. Like, there's some angles that I could be drawing this in that might actually work, but the question is, can I? Am I able to draw this in an angle that looks good? Yeah, like, I like the idea. I could see this working okay. It has a nice big flower on its head, and it has that stamen that just kind of hangs out. I hope I'm calling it the right thing. And then, you know, down here, we'd have the kind of sideways grin. Pen pressure. Jeez, what is wrong with you? What do you think? What do you guys think? Hang on. I think I missed a few messages. Okay, so went grocery shopping in the morning with a mask. I have not seen a single person wearing a mask from my house, in the store, or on the bus. Most people here aren't wearing masks, but the city that I'm in now, situation is pretty minor, and like well under control, I think, in terms of what in terms of like hospital capacity and stuff. Number of cases here is very low. Whenever water-type Pokemon have something resembling hair, I prefer it to look like waves. That was my design philosophy for shape-shifting Siren Pokemon. I can see that, but yeah, you know, in this case, Bruxish had a flower, and we're just trying to make it a better, more interesting flower. But yeah. I think that's more on the like psychic side anyway, rather than on the water type side, but I think it looks nice if the tail was kind of shaped like a heart. It already kind of, like the original one already kind of is, right? Like the colors could be arranged in a way to emphasize that more, which I guess would work. I wasn't planning on doing that, but yeah, it could work. Actually like it a lot. It looks like an actual hibiscus. What if the rest of the hair was leaves? I don't want to go too far in the direction of actually like looking like a grass type Pokemon. So I'm not sure about that. But yeah. I like the hibiscus. The hibiscus is a good idea. I want to try to simplify the flower design though. Like the position I think is okay. But I want to try to simplify it a little bit, make it a little bit more Pokemon-y. Doesn't the flower have like a bulb in it that opens when it uses moves, or am I mistaken? Yeah, so if you look at the official art in the bottom left, that's when it's closed. When it opens, it does have a little like thing in the middle, but that would just be replaced. In the case of the hibiscus, it would just be replaced with the thing that I'm calling a stamen that I don't know for sure if that's the right name. You thought my new city was bigger than the previous one? No, this is a smaller city, actually. I mean... Yeah, no. Like, I'm still in a suburb, but just in a suburb of a smaller city. So, anyway, okay, let me see if I can simplify this design a little bit. And then I can move on to figuring out what the actual like final drawing is going to look like. And I'm going to have another look at what hibiscus flowers actually look like. Okay, this looks like they have 5 petals, and maybe I can work that in. Because here I have 4 flowers, or 4 petals rather. I see. Okay. The photo that I was looking at as a reference. It fits a third one, the third petal in here with one in the very middle. Like that, and then there's 2 that are on the towards the side that are just kind of hidden. So something like that, and then obviously we would want a fairly simplified pattern for the interior. And yeah, a nice thick middle part here. I think that looks good. I think that works. Yeah. I thought you moved from suburb of big city to smaller city proper. Not quite. Not quite. But I mean that's roughly it. Yes. But this is still the city here is still much smaller. It's a significant difference. Anemone hair would be nice. Anemone hair. I like the hibiscus because the hibiscus is thematically appropriate for a Hawaiian fish. But I like that idea very much of anemone hair. All right. More fitting for a water type, something that is actually aquatic but that looks like a flower. Very interesting idea. Let me bring up the kind of guide that I had here before. I want to try that now. I'm not retyping it into grass? No, not at all. No, it's definitely still a water psychic. Do you still have a couch for permanent guests to sleep on? Not for permanent guests. Anemone hair, okay. Anemone hair is interesting because anemone have so many more like tentacles to it that it's I think it would be much easier to make it look like hair. What do you guys think? Plot twist, it's just a Tangela sitting on a fish. What if a Tangela is actually an anemone? Wearing shoes. I think the hibiscus looks more feminine and appealing. I'm inclined to that as well. Like, I really like the idea of anemone hair. Like, it seems like it would work better, but I do think that the hibiscus is serves its purpose a little bit better. And like, I could even make the hibiscus, the petals, like smaller and not try to make it look like hair, and just have the hanging part just that to make it look like a lock of hair. The hair looks Medusa-esque, not too hyped about the anemone hair. Okay. All right. We'll stick with the hibiscus, but I do want to try, now that I thought of it, I want to try it just a little bit smaller. Actually, I'll do that later. Let me now figure out what this actual drawing is going to look like. What if the tip of the hanging part of the hibiscus was like a hypnotic swirl? It could have a hypnotic swirl on it. Bruxish being feminine is its greatest problem. I guess that's part of it, yeah. Did anyone figure out yet how to inject UV light into your cells? What? Alright, yeah, let me figure out how exactly I want to draw this. So, and this is where these guys come in, because I want to do something a little bit more interesting. If I can get both eyes to be visible, I think that would be great. But I'm not sure if I can. Yeah. So the part of the problem is that fish, and I think, wow, there's really something off about my pen. And I don't know what it is. But yeah, the thing is that fish are very they're very slim, right? They're generally pretty flat, and I think that the triggerfish is also very flat. So it's difficult to find a way to put like an eye on this side and also have an eye on this side that is visible. And it's kind of an awkward shape that I'm really just not familiar with. I wonder if there's a way I can actually transform, if I can do like a warp transform to get the shape that I want. I doubt it, but let me try something. I don't think it'll work, but I'm going to try it. That's like a really poorly drawn. Because if I pull this inwards, it does flip. But it doesn't flip. Yeah. It like hides the other parts. So that's not great. Okay, that's not really going to be helpful. It's just a solution to the pandemic that some incredible thinker proposed on stage while talking to his country. Oh, one of those. I see. Lantern, 10 out of 10 creative name up there with Seal and Clink. Yeah, Lantern is not a great name. It's better than Seal. It is definitely better than Seal, though. I wish Luminion and Lantern would evolve. That would be nice. Both of them do deserve, to be spruced up a little bit. The mouth could be like a goblin shark and it can shoot out forward. Ooh. I mean, maybe. I'm not going to draw that, though. But yes, maybe. Can you hear the wind? It is really loud over here. The wind is incredibly loud. No, it needs a little bit more action, a little bit something more like the middle lantern there. It's just such an awkward shape. Yeah, I knew I was gonna struggle with this part. Lantern is so Gen 2, it should have gotten evolution Gen 4 with the rest of the candidates. Yeah. Why does this remind me of a frogfish? I don't know what a frogfish looks like, but I'm sure there's a good reason it reminds you of one. If it were up to me, I think I would accentuate the diamond shape that the triggerfish has and focus the design on that. I think accentuating the diamond shape is part of what makes Bruxish not so good, because it ends up with a very like snout-like mouth with the mouth like way ahead, and that's part of what it makes it really not work for me. So like in this sketch, right? It's like the mouth is out there, but it's not just like teeth. So I don't know. Yeah, Bruxish accentuates the diamond shape in the wrong way. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have an idea of how to do that in a way that works better, I'm all ears. This pose so far is probably the one that works the best for me. I think that, whoops. No, I just keep tapping the wrong thing. There we go. I googled frogfish and it kind of resembles it. Okay, now I have to look it up. Didn't that video represent my response to Gen 5 really well? Yes, it did. The one you shared on Twitter. Yes, it did. What if there was a male counterpart that was tiny, like with a anglerfish? Well, this is more of a... Bruxish is more of a triggerfish, and as far as I know, there isn't sexual dimorphism in that way. There's just differences in size, but... Frogfish. Oh, I see. I guess it does kind of look like a very like prettied up, or like a very Pokemonified version of a frogfish. But right, yeah, I've seen photos of these, and this deserves to be an actual Pokemon. All right, I like this pose a lot. I think I need to refine it a little bit though. Actually, no, contract it this way. Well, not quite like that. Basically, I think it needs to be shorter. I think because it's a little bit too like It's almost vertical. I need to make it a little bit more towards the camera kind of thing. So let me try that. The weird thing is, like, it's difficult to draw something that is in this shape, but one, facing the camera, which makes it just look like like this, right? It just makes it really tight. But also with a spine that's going in an S shape. So like not even that much. It has to be more like this. But like this is one tip. This is one tip. And like where the hell does the rest of it go? It's almost straight up and down here. Maybe I can pretend that I'm drawing it as a circle and then just exaggerate it more. Oh, even as a circle, I can't get it in a way that feels right. I like the idea of making the triggerfish's white face into a mask. I can see how that would be fitting for the triggerfish, but I don't think it's fitting with the idea of drag makeup. I think it needs to be more about like emphasizing the makeup aspect, the like sharp cheekbones, the really high arched eyebrows, that kind of thing. The best Pikachu is the Pikachu of Generations. If I remember correctly. That's a good Pikachu. I like the Gen 2 Pikachu a lot, though. Pokemon has a certain design philosophy when it comes to fish. It makes them very round and kind of ice cream shaped, with the face being defined and round and the body tapering into a tail. I don't know that that applies to all of the fish, but I can see what you mean. So let me try. Good enough. Good enough. Actually, I should draw where the fins go before I put the rest of the body on. This pen pressure thing is really annoying me. I don't know, man. It just it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I just don't do like the last. Maybe like it's only folded once, but then it's back to being more like the lantern in the middle. I don't know. This whole design is trying to be too many things. Or you can give it the masculine dynamic, or it can have multiple looks. Not exactly sure what these shapes are supposed to be right now, but I guess I'll just have to wait and see where the design goes. Do you mean the shapes where I was trying to figure out the body shape? That might have been it. Big jaws, drag makeup, rainbow vomit, and the flower on top. Just pick a few, Game Freak. It does kind of look like an eel, yeah, but my tablet says it has pressure sensitivity, but that is a blatant lie. Well, this has been serving me well for like 15 years, so the fact that it's acting up now is a bit surprising. It's also getting old, but like still. You're Superman, how can you make something that doesn't look right? Superman is, well, obviously he has physical prowess, and he is a journalist. He is not an illustrator. That is different. Single fold would probably work. Yeah. I gotta go back. It needs to be a little bit from a bottom angle, I think, sort of like what Lantern is doing there. Well, like either from more of an upper angle or from more of a bottom angle. I'll try the bottom angle. So it'll be more like that kind of spine shape. Maybe just a little bit more contracted than that. I'm tempted to like chicken out almost of drawing it in an interesting position and just be like, nah, I'll just draw it in the same position that original Bruxish is, which is a very boring position. So don't let me do that. Don't let me give up. So in terms of like a fish body shape, this looks pretty good to me. I'm not sure I can get the face to look right on there the way I want it to. I'm a journalist. I'm basically Superman. Yes, you are, Eric. Shiny Litwick. Were you shiny hunting a Litwick, Charon? The whole shiny Litwick line is fantastic. Well, the whole Litwick line is fantastic, period. But well, actually, I'm a retail worker, but I'm in university for journalism, so like Superman in training. Yeah, you're almost there. It's good enough. Good enough. Yes, I was. Ethan only just gave me his moonball earlier that I caught the first in. Okay. I've seen like 3 shinies in the wild before. I've had, like, overall, throughout my Pokemon playing career, I've had pretty good shiny luck in the wild. Sword and Shield, no. Haven't seen any wild shinies whatsoever, but in Gen 7, I had really good random shiny luck. I do like that this post has its face arching upwards. That's cool. I don't think any other Pokemon has official art like that. My first shiny was a Pampor in the forest at the start of Y. Cool. I mean, I hope you like Pampor. A lot of people don't. But if you do, that's cool. Did you bring the pet cats with you? Well, of course. Of course. Neither of them are around right now. I mean, there's probably the cat tree. Obviously, the things have moved, so which ones you'll be able to see will change a little bit. But yeah, no, of course they're here. The aquatic Pokemon in my fan decks have a theme of deep ocean, so there are lots of aquatic creatures represented that nobody really knows about, like polyps, hydras, and cyanophores. My first ever shiny Pokemon was a Tentacool. My most recent shiny was a G-Max Garbodor. Nice. The only other two shinies I have, I think, are from Ultra Sun, a shiny Altaria Onion Mega. I have a lot of shiny Pokemon. I really can't complain about my shiny luck overall, in breeding or in the wild. Yeah, like I said, so Sword and Shield, no wild ones yet, but no random shinies yet. But in Ultra, I found a shiny a Rabombi, really, or not a Rabombi, a Cutie Fly, really early on, like right at the beginning of the game. So obviously it was added onto my team for the rest of the game. In Sun and Moon, there was a shiny Oricorio that is now in Sensu style because that's my favorite one. Yeah. This still doesn't look right to me. Like, it looks better. This is probably better than any of the others that I've done, but it still does not look right. I don't want to go back and do a static kind of pose, but maybe I'll just go for something more like the bottom lantern, where it faces forward. It's just at an angle. The fold is just really not working for me. Like, if I take this sketch, which I think has roughly the proportions of that I want. And then maybe I just transform it into a better perspective. And obviously I'll have to adjust the face, but my shiny luck has been greatest in Sword and Shield, where I have a shiny Meowstic, Garbodor, and Toxtricity. Very cool. I have Toxtricity as well, but that one was bred for, so I don't know how much you want to like count that. I'm making all the fins a little bit like fluffier, I guess, a little bit. The points are a little bit sharper. I think that works. It wasn't really like planned, but I think it works. Okay, in terms of the pose, I think this works better. I definitely need to adjust a whole bunch of proportions and such. But I think I'm ready to just move on with this. It's not great, and it's not the most exciting pose, but it's definitely better than the original in terms of it being in an interesting position, and it's also much better looking than any of these other ones that I tried that just don't look right. What do you think? In your defense, I don't think any angle of this shape would look right. That's fair. It feels like it needs a more elegant tail, but that's just me. I like to play around with tail shapes when I design fish Pokemon. McDonald's is now selling 40-piece chicken McNuggets. Wow. 40 McNuggets, I'll need an hour, but I'll do it. Did you see that McDonald's donated 750,000 medical-grade masks to Illinois? I had not seen that, but that's good. My league card says I found shiny 90 Pokemon. What does it even count, though? Species or number? It counts total. So if you find... If I'm pretty sure this is how it works. If you find, like, 2 shinies of the same, it counts twice. If you find... 1 shiny, and then evolve it, it also counts twice. I could be mistaken though. I know that it definitely counts like each like Pokedex entry, each shiny Pokedex entry. I know it counts those separately, so if you evolve something, it'll count twice. But I'm pretty sure it also counts twice when you get a second one. Oh, you caught 6 Magikarp. Oh, okay. Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I know that if you evolve it, it counts it twice. But I could be wrong about that. Yeah, of the count. Of the... Of duplicates, I mean. Okay. All right, I'm going to, basically now I'm going to, because I'm happy with this position, I'm going to redraw all of the pieces separately so that I can adjust proportions, because they're not currently on different layers. At least I'm like finally happy with the direction this whole thing is going in terms of the position of the actual drawing. The design, like we've been mostly figured out since the beginning, but. Need to make sure I get the flower right in this case, though. Also, pro tip, don't give up on your Magikarp. If it reaches level 20, it actually evolves into a scary sea monster. Magikarp Jump is the pinnacle of game design. I actually never played Magikarp Jump, so I can't attest to that. I cannot confirm or deny. Talking about Pika clones, I think that Emolga is more interesting than Pachirisu. Oh, absolutely. Emolga is definitely more interesting than Pachirisu. Not necessarily on the scale of Pikachu clones, like relative to other Pikachu clones, it's a little bit better. But like being a flying type, having a secondary typing, like that's definitely that definitely like gives it an advantage. Damn, this flower is just giving me so much trouble. I watched a great video last night about a YouTuber called Ombrion Libris about Pikachu clones. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I find it interesting that Pachirisu and Emolga look so similar. It makes so much sense since Pachirisu is a squirrel and Emolga is a flying squirrel. You didn't credit me for bringing up the similarities between Morpeko and Pikachu. Yes, they were very obscure. I could never have figured it out myself. Emolga feels more like a flying mouse to me. I never saw the resemblance to Pachirisu besides the main color, though. I like that you went to check the Japanese name for Morpeko. Toby just butchered it carelessly amongst other things in his new video earlier. Is that the rival video? I haven't seen it yet. I saw it come up, but I haven't watched the video yet. Can I go to the internet and find a good Creative Commons photo of a hibiscus that I can cheat off of? Let's see what I can find. It has to be like in just the right position though, which makes it a little bit challenging. This one might work. Alright, so this photo that I'm about to bring in, photographer Rojipala, user on Wikimedia, thank you for your photo. Shared with Creative Commons license. Look at that beauty. Alright. Did I flipped just the entire thing. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to flip only this layer. Here you go. Put it down there. Oh, see you later, Eric. Off to work we go. All right. I like the idea of Bruxish just being the reef weirdo. I guess that's sort of what it is. It's an appropriate way to put it. All right, so I have to. I'm gonna rotate this a little bit more this way. And I'm gonna have to kind of exaggerate the positions of the petals a little bit, but you know, like this actually makes it, like, puts it in a pretty good, like, hair-like position. Oh yeah, we were considering a spiral pattern on it. I'll try it after I hide the flower. Whoa, that was quite the gust. Can you hear it? No, none of you have told me whether you can hear it or not, so I assume you can't hear the wind, but... Just gonna put this on a separate layer just in case. Just in case I want to change its positioning at all. Is that really the gust, or have you been eating funny stuff? Funny stuff. I'm also getting those hula dancer figure vibes from this. Interesting. The solar powered ones. Interesting. Alright, and I just gotta draw the body. Not you. You stay. All right, let's adjust the sizes of things, because I think that is definitely something that needs a little bit of work here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, time for Photoshop to start misbehaving now. Still gives me a chance to save, but I might have to restart the program. Let's make the fins a little bit bigger, maybe put it a little bit farther back. Okay. Mouth, maybe bigger? Maybe. Eyes, bigger probably as well. The flower, I think, can actually stay this size, maybe even go a little bit smaller. Just like that, and then this I'll probably make it really long, and have it like hanging down like we were talking about before, like a lock of hair. And we'll put just a like kind of a small spiral here. What do you think? Obviously it still needs the patterns on, and I think that's probably going to make a pretty big difference because it kind of looks like the... Whoa, is it just me, or is this song like way louder than anything else that has played before? Wait, are you guys not getting the music? Or did that just happen now? Did that just change automatically now for some reason? Okay. Okay, I assume you can hear the music again now. Okay. It is very quiet? Okay. Like I know that it's very quiet for me, but that was on purpose. I didn't change the volume of it in OBS, so I assumed that it was good there. But if you want me to turn it up, let me know. I'll do it. But okay. All right. So what was the suggestion that I saw pop up? What if the thing with the spiral was a spiral instead? I like the spiral as just kind of a minor design element. I think that it having more, yeah, I'm more interested in keeping it as in the shape of a lock of hair rather than making the whole thing a spiral. Yeah. Let me put those put the patterns on, and we'll see how they look as well. Also, just for clarity, I'm gonna do some of this. So my idea for the pattern was to have it circling around the eye. And then down here, it folds this way. You think there should be some kind of pattern on the fin? If we look at our OG Bruxish, it does have some markings on the fin. I still liked the flower the most way back with the stem. Well, I mean, we can put it on a stem again, but I don't think I want it on the very long stem. Like, we can put it on a stem enough that it's, you know, just hanging out like here, for example, a little bit off of the head. But not where it's like, oh, that there's that whole stem and then it's at the tip. Although if that's what everyone prefers, I will listen. Is the color scheme going to remain the same? No. I mean, it's going to be like pinks and purples and blues and maybe some yellow. But no, I'm going to up the contrast on it a lot. To make it, to give it more of the like white and black and a strong color kind of thing from the triggerfish. Let's try moving the flower. Just a little bit, so that it's off the head. And then it would have a stem here. I like everything very much except the flower. So you would want the flower like hanging off of a long stem, right? That's what you liked before? I can try it. Not a big fan of the stem. Yeah, in this particular way, the stem doesn't really work it for me. I liked it better without it, but let's give Charon what he wants. We'll put the flower. We'll put the flower down here. The stem is what gives it this shape. Something like that, Charon? Yeah, the flower being directly on its head makes it weirdly weird to me. I think it might be that the flower is too complicated. Yeah, I might try to simplify the flower even more as we go. This is now my favorite Pokemon. What does everyone else think? Did you prefer it before? With the flower directly on the head and then the stem? Or the stem and then the flower? I like personally, I'm okay with either one. Honestly, same. Everyone else is hypnotized by it. All right. I can go with this. Yeah, I do want to simplify that flower more, but... The stem looks odd and disassociated. Yeah, I did it very quickly, so I can definitely like adjust it a little bit. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't even have a bottom here. Maybe I just do it like that. Just grows right out of the head. Just to be sure you don't mean the black part, or... needless to say, I'm feeling good. No, I just think it looks weird so far apart from the body. What if, by making it farther apart, what if we also make it bigger? Does that help? Maybe bring it a little bit closer. Bigger, better. Okay. All right. Just because I don't really have too much of a preference here, I'm going to go ahead and make this happen. Kyle preferred it before, with the smaller one, I guess. Shiny Chandelure is freaking fabulous. Yes, it is. How about this? I'm going to redraw that part before moving on. We'll just do that and see if I can find a way to simplify it right now rather than waiting till a later time. Also, maybe I'll rotate the flower. Yeah, okay, something like this works. How's that? Still not a big fan. Leave the big fan out of this. Looks better. Okay. I do think the flower itself looks better now. Like it's much simpler, so it'll be much easier to incorporate it into everything else. And so just to see how it looks, I want to try it directly on here, or maybe. Yeah. Maybe instead of it being that far out, maybe I bring it in a little bit. Can you fix its forehead? What about the forehead? Like what I have to do with the forehead is gonna really depend on what is happening with the flower. Anything? No? Let's take a vote. Flower. On a stem or not on a stem? I hope at least 3 people have a stronger opinion than I do. Flower on a stem or not on a stem? Vote. Hello, 002. Tell me what you think. We're trying to figure out how exactly to do this flower on the forehead, whether it should be on a stem, as it is now, or something closer to this one, except this is an older version of it. Sorry for joining so late. YouTube just notified me right now. Oh no. Sharon says stem. Ethan says no. Monkey Man says stemless squad. What? I'm guessing Ethan's no is to no stem. Or no preference. Hard to say. What it needs is a brain stem. Okay. So no stem. Ooh, I'll say stem. I don't mind either. No stem. Okay, I think no stem is winning. It's a very tight vote, but I think no stem is winning. Or I'll give you, like, I'll do both so that with this flower so that we can see what both look like, and I'll give you a final opportunity if anyone wants to change their vote. If it's here, the thing in the middle, the thing that looks like a skitty tail, that will be longer. So basically we're looking at either that or that. Stoppo says stem. Monkey Man says long skitty tail. I'm not like, I don't really have much of a preference myself, but I think that the stem does work a little bit better. I don't know if I have the stem in quite the right way, though. Do we do a compromise? Short stem. No short stem compromise. If anything, longer stem. Look at Lantern for potential inspiration. We have Lantern. We have looked at Lantern. But yeah, this isn't an anglerfish. So I do think the mouth is kind of humanoid for a fish Pokemon. Well, yes, but that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point of Bruxish anyway. I think the stem people are being louder. So I'm gonna go with this. You guys happy? Or is anyone going to be really loud now? Stamp Squad use caps lock. It's a war. It's a war happening in the chat. Yes, Stem. All right. I'm sorry to break the hearts of the non-Stem Squad, but I'm gonna go ahead with the Stem. Okay, it's over. Stop. Monkey Man is being pretty loud against STEM, but at least Libris made it look like an actual Pokemon and not something from a kid's cartoon. Oh, I'm glad, because I was not entirely sure that I'd achieved that yet. But I think with shading, we'll get there. I'm sorry, Monkey Man. Please don't cry. If you cry, that will make me sad as well. But it won't change the fact that we are currently going STEM. STEM cheated? Well, what can I do? There were no rules. There isn't really any cheating when there are no rules. Charon paid off everyone. I know Stapo and Charon are in cahoots. I'm sure they are. That looks right. Stapo claims he's a non-autonomous actor. Claims, however. Come on, me. I can do this. Or I can't. Well, got close enough. Did I get through Take to the Skies? Oh, no, I haven't actually. Not yet, but I will. It should be longer. The skitty tail should be longer. That's fairly easy for me to do. Skitty's tail should have fucked up the species in the fight for surviving. Because it stands out too much? Or what? Because keys keep playing with them, right? And the Delcatty sleep on with their neck things, right? Like they just fall asleep anywhere, which is probably also not great for survival of the species. Seek comfort in the new Daily's Feel post. How much longer is the stream going to be going for? Basically as long as it takes for me to finish the drawing, which at this point is probably not too long, but I don't know, probably under an hour at this point. Alright, that looks pretty good, I think. A spiel a day keeps the seals away. Alright, let me draw on the little patterns. Actually, some of these patterns would probably be outlined patterns in official art, so I might as well keep it that way. I need to figure out actually something to do with the forehead here, because like I want this to be one color and I want this to be a different color. So somewhere in this general area it needs to change, and I don't know where it would change, where it would make sense to change. You fixed it already. I'm not sure what I fixed, Charon, or how I fixed it, how you think I fixed it. Keep going, looks dope. We still don't know what to do with the forehead though. Where in the forehead the color changes. Maybe I'll just give it like a widow's peak kind of thing. So like here. Oh, I see what the problem is. There we go. There we go. Got it back. All right. Yeah, that works. Maybe a kind of triangle from the little tips to the stem. Oh, I see. Like further down, I guess. I guess something like this. I think I do want it further down, but not with the stem, I think. Something like that. Yeah. Below the stem might work better. I don't know, like I don't want it to go too far into like the bridge of what would be the bridge of the nose. Like I guess I could put some kind of design element here kind of thing, like a circle, like someone suggested having a circle here. But I don't know. Just an arc going over the stem. I like that. I like that because it actually ends up reflecting the kind of shape of the hibiscus with 3 bumps. So I like that. Like a petal shape extending from the face. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I might make it a little bit higher up, but I like this idea. Yeah, it's like the face itself is also a petal. All right, there we go. And now just quickly outline the patterns that actually don't have distinction to them, which is these ones. So these won't actually stay outlined. The outline here is just to help my coloring process in a moment. Did anyone have any ideas of a pattern or something to do on the fins? I wanted to make it something a little bit more interesting than just a flat color. but I don't know what. Bubbles, I was asking myself, what would Seal do? Bubbles, so like little circles? That could work. Sure. All right. I think the fins are fine. That as is going to be busy enough. Well, like I don't think that it's going to be very busy. Like it's busy on the face, like the flower. Like that part's busy. The rest is not really very busy. And it does have those kind of bubble patterns on it. You know what? I think I need to emphasize the kind of cheekbone pattern a little bit more. So that's this part. Yeah, that's better. All right, let me put in some colors now. How in the world do you get the line so smooth? Well, there is a setting. I think you can see it if I point to it here. There's this setting called smoothing, which for a very large drawing like this is at 100%. This is how big it is. So it's a large drawing. So for this size, I keep it at 100%. So I let software keep my line smooth. All right, let's put some colors. Hide all of that. Actually, before I hide that, let me get some colors for like a palette. I'm just gonna steal Bruxish's original colors. And then I'll apply them as is, but then after I've applied them, I'll adjust. Yeah, good enough. Wait, what version do you use? Maybe I have to update Photoshop, or is it somewhere in the settings and I have to enable it? So this is the latest Photoshop. This is CC 2020, I think, or just 2020, whatever they call it. But yeah, this is the latest Photoshop. Yeah, when you have your brush selected, your brush tool, or any brush related tool like eraser has it too, then it appears here at the top. Or it also appears, I believe, in here, where smoothing here is just a checkbox. Here is where you set the actual percentage. So this part is going to be pink. Just gonna move the palette to the other side here so I can, because there's a panel here that I don't think you guys can see, but there's a panel here that's hiding it, so. Oops. Oh, let me also get the little dots, same color. keep knocking over my pen now that I'm using my mouse for this part. I guess this part can be, these parts can be pink. That's right. Okay. I'm just a little undecided on the color of the fins, the top and bottom fins. And apparently I deleted this color layer by accident. Sharon says, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am not paid for saying this. I saw the likes go up by 2. It works. I do appreciate that. The likes on the stream, I think, help YouTube like show the stream to more new people, which is always nice, of course. So thank you, Sharon. So I try cyan as the main color for the front fins. So for the ones that have bubbles on them. I could invert the cyan and yellow on the body. I can also make the just keep the fins the same color as the body everywhere. Maybe the fins could be gray. Hang on. I need to name some layers so I know what I'm doing here. Oh, what was I thinking of doing? Typo. Yeah, so that could match. It could stay that way. The fins could be gray, as Kyle suggested. I don't have a gray, so let me. I guess like down here it would also be gray. Oh, I seem to have somehow deleted that layer again. Clearly, it was not properly labeled. I'm trying to stop deleting layers. I'm not doing it on purpose. Let me make some adjustments to the colors. So I want the purple to be a lot darker. That's definitely one thing. So where is that? Here. Yeah, definitely a darker purple like that. Give more of that contrast. And obviously, I think I want to keep the pink, probably mostly as it is. Maybe the yellow can be a little bit lighter. The gray might be too much in addition to everything else. Yeah. The yellow is better saturated. Maybe I'll make the fins just match the color of the body where they are. Or I could do what Bruxish does and just have a completely different color there. That's a possibility too. I'd have to erase some lines, but you know, it's a possibility. Maybe do the gray fins in light purple. I don't think I want to introduce more colors. but here, I'm gonna try one thing. I'm gonna try removing these. And then doing a continuous color for all of the fins, or almost. I think the tail I do want to be separate because the tail has that kind of heart shape that the pattern helps to emphasize. So I think I'll keep that. Yeah, so maybe this final stripe here stays, but and then I don't know what color to make this. I guess it could be gray. But it could also just be more purple. It could be more pink. I like the purple. I could maybe make the tail pink. What do you think of that? The pink was too much. The purple is great. The gray, I'm unsure. Yeah, I'm not too convinced about the gray either, but Kyle likes this one. I like it too. I totally missed this, but Bruxish actually has blue pupils, so let's give it that. All right. Right, I'm gonna shade this. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the right layer. hand fin color swap. So blue with purple spots. I can try that. Is that better? That makes it, to me, that makes it look like like there's holes in it. Yeah, I'm not sure. It makes it, to me, it makes it look too much like there's holes in the fin. Cyan with pink? Maybe. I mean, that definitely makes it look less like holes, but... Yeah. This one works better, though. Yeah, I like that. I can keep going with that. Not only does it look like holes, it looks like circular spots of emptiness. Alright, I don't think I have very much else to shade in pink, except for now the bubbles themselves. Although actually, no, I'm gonna shade that when I get to the rest of the fins. So let's what's next? Let's do the purple body. It elevates cyan just a bit. That makes it exactly relevant enough. That's just a feeling. No, I agree. It gives it a little bit more for the cyan to be doing. Like any design that forces you to use magenta, cyan, and yellow together that is not a color printer advertisement is doomed from the start. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I think it's because the original design is just uninspired. I don't know that the original design is uninspired. I think the original design is trying to do some things that just don't fit together very well. But yeah, it's not for everyone, and it's never gonna be for everyone. So it happens. And like I'm satisfied with this as a Bruxish redesign. I don't think I particularly like it. Like I like it as a Bruxish, as a new take, a new version of Bruxish. Sure, I like it in this context, which is all it really is. But in terms of like liking it as a Pokemon, which sometimes I do with other redesigns, nah. I can go sleep eventually with the confidence that this redesign is a great success. Well, thank you, Charon. Oh, I also deleted the layer where I put the white of the eyes and of the teeth. I guess when I was like toggling like layers on and off, I just couldn't tell the difference. Oh, now Photoshop is doing the weird thing. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Kyle. Another comment: so the flower is tiny compared to the rest of the body, but it has as much deal as other parts combined, but it's lovely. Well, yeah. I think that works as it is, though. Do you think that it doesn't work because of that?
Rest in peace, Tia. Hope you're having a wonderful time with the angels and the kitty.
Hello, Gabby. You like it? Oh, thank you. This is, yeah, almost done. Almost done. I think basically I just need to put in some highlights. And I guess I need to put in the darker cyan of the pupils as well. But yeah, mostly I think it's the highlights that have to go in. So let's do that. You really want to make a pre-evolution for this design, Kyle? Well, be my guest. Go ahead. I fully support it. And make sure you, and if you do, like, make sure you show it to me. I want to see it. Okay, any other pinks I need to shade? I don't think so. So let's do the yellows. Uh-oh. Photoshop? Please, wake up. Okay, well, at least you saved. Okay, Photoshop seems to have frozen. It did save, apparently, but I'm gonna have to quit it just to finish up, which really sucks, but here we go. Just a minute for it to come back. All right. All right, let's do purple. I think that's it for the purple, so it's just the cyans now. All right, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. I might adjust the shades, the shadows, rather, of the yellow a little bit. Might make it a little bit darker. what's the best way for me to do only the shadows? All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm overall happy with this. Make sure I save it. Okay. Overall, I'm happy with this. Like, I think that it maintains what Bruxish intended to be, and also maybe hopefully makes the idea of the drag makeup a little bit more obvious. But it also makes it less off-putting, I think. You guys can agree or disagree with me there. But yeah, I think that it works better than the original Bruxish. That said, I don't particularly like this design as it is or as a Pokemon specifically. I think that it has a lot of room for improvement to be a better Pokemon. But like I don't really know what it would do in order to still be a psychic a psychic triggerfish with elements of drag. I don't know what would be better there. Like maybe different colors? But I don't know. Kyle is in love with it, so that's good. That's it. At least someone likes it. Yeah. Like I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it as a Bruxish. But I think maybe Bruxish just isn't a very good Pokemon, or just not a Pokemon that I like very much to begin with. So hard to really fix that. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we're gonna the redesign series is going to continue, but we're gonna take a bit of a turn now. And I could actually use your feedback here, because out of the list of Pokemon that I had come up with, a year and a half ago, whenever it was, before we started the series, I had a whole list of Pokemon to go through, and we went through a lot of them. We redesigned a lot of them, but there were also Pokemon that we skipped. Basically, the rule was if a Pokemon appeared in a poll 3 times and it was not picked 3 times, then I would just skip it, and I'd cut it, and we'd do something else. So now I have a list of Pokemon that have been skipped 3 times. Some of them I really want to do, like Hawlucha, for example. I want to do that. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'll just do some redesigns that I want to do. So that includes Hawlucha, that includes Type Null and Silvally. That one I think could be really cool. Yeah. I think the Pokemon is weird, but I like yours so much. Oh, thank you, Gabby. Yeah, so there's that. I can just do Pokemon that I want. Or I haven't come up with Generation 8 Pokemon for this list. And the idea there was that it would just be Pokemon, or that I would wait until all of the Pokemon for Generation 8 are out. or at least until we don't really expect any more to come out, which would be only at the end of the year when the Crown Tundra DLC comes out. Because then I can, you know, have a look at all of the Gen 8 Pokemon as a whole, and I can decide which ones are worth the redesign, which ones aren't. So that's another possibility. I move on to doing some Gen 8 redesigns. And another possibility is to just kind of take requests and, you know, let people in the comments tell me what kind of Pokemon they want to see, and just pick one that I feel like I could do well. So I could, yeah, I don't know what you guys think I should do. I'm inclined for next time to just, you know, for the next one or two, to just do the ones that I really want. Do the Hawlucha, do the Technol and Silvally. And maybe after that, do requests. And I guess the requests could include the Gen 8 ones as well. I could redesign Shadow Lugia. No. I mean, I could, but I need to play XD Gale of Darkness first, and I'm definitely going to. Not starting next week, but possibly starting the week after that. I will be doing streams of XD. I've never played it before, so it'll be like kind of like a blind stream. Grass, Fire, Water typed Pika Clone Fakemon. I do have a Fakemon. Like, I would like to do more Fakemon, but this is a redesign series, and the redesign series is something that I really enjoy doing. So I want to keep doing redesigns. Fakemon would have to be something else, something on top of that, and it's a possibility. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. At least for now. If you have thoughts, please tell me. But for now, the idea is I will do one or two Pokemon that I just really want to do, Hawlucha and Typhonol and Silvally, and then I'll start taking requests. I think that's what I'll do. But if you have thoughts, please do let me know. It's been such a long time since you've played it yourself. Well, we can all experience it together. Yeah. Anyway. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for helping me figure out this design. Again, I think it turned out pretty good for a Bruxish. Maybe not very good for Pokemon in general. So, but anyway, yeah. If you can hit like, if you can subscribe, if you're new here, please do subscribe. I'm going to need a turbo button on that GameCube, like to speed it up. I'm not going to do that. I'm playing it on an actual GameCube, not an emulator. I'll experience it the way it was meant to. So XD was slower than surfing in Diamond and Pearl. Well, I guess I will have to experience that myself. But again, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Umbreon Libris, and I will see you in the next chapter. Bye.